Well, good afternoon. Here we are once again. And I'm here with two of my best friends right here. And we're down at the Songwriter Showcase Studios in downtown Carlsbad. How are you doing, Robert?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, I'm good. Now that we're all together, and we got another good friend right here, Mr.
Real
Tony
fun,
Rivas.
real fun
Thank you.
here.
That we coerced into all the action down here today. And,
did we tell the truth to get him here or not? I can't remember.
I don't know, right?
I know.
Tony, do you know why you're here today?
I think I have a little bit of an
Oh,
idea.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We actually have a show coming up, right?
Got a big show coming up, yeah.
I know. And it's called Like a Rolling Stone. And it's going to be at the Brooks Theater. Right,
Yes,
Robert?
it is. Lovely downtown
On
Oceanside.
August 31st. And it's a part of our music series that we've put on there the last 2 years. And Tony and I have talked about a really special Rolling Stones kind of rockumentary production for almost a couple years.
Yeah, you've talked about it to me for a long time.
Yeah.
So this is great.
And so for those who don't know Tony, we're going to let Tony speak for himself. And Tony's going to tell everyone just a few things about himself and the band he works with.
Give us the dirt, the pretty, the ugly, and all.
Okay, well, I am Tony Rivas, and I'm a singer for the band Custard Pie. We do a lot of Rolling Stones, a lot of Led Zeppelin kind of things. And we got the show coming up at the Brooks Theater in Oceanside. Really excited about it. It's called Like a Rolling Stone, and it's going to be Custard Pie and Brian Jones Rock and Roll Revival. So we're really excited about that. Brian's got some really great energy and it's got some great players. We're just really looking forward to this. And Brian's going to do a set. We're going to do a set. We're going to do an encore set at the end and kind of get everybody up and dancing and involved. Really looking forward to having a good time.
Sweet.
Yeah, there might be some dancing at the end,
Yes,
right?
there could be some
there typically
dancing.
is. And then the idea of having custard pie, that would be amazing in itself. Like we could just do a whole show.
You.
But then I thought, well, what's better than one incredible Rolling Stones, tribute act? How about two, right? And then my good friend Brian Jones, he was really interested. And he's funny too, because that's his real name, Brian Jones,
I know, go imagine.
And I've asked him, what's the story? And he said, my father was like best friends with the Rolling Stones tour manager. And of course, they all loved Brian Jones. And so that was the firstborn in the family. Brian's dad said, you're going to be Brian Jones.
Not
right?
a bad outcome.
Yeah. So Brian is just a wealth of information on the Stones.
He really is.
And I think he's been to, 200
He's been
Stones
to a lot
concerts,
of shows, and he's on his way to a show today, as a matter of fact. So he's been seeing a lot of people. And Brian's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
He's just a lot of energy, and he's a lot of fun.
And so with the show, just to kind of delve into it a little bit more, are you doing like early Stones or mid Stones or later on, or are you going to tell some of the stories of who inspired you and your music?
Yeah, we're kind of doing a thing of kind of like when the Stones started up into the mid 70s kind of era.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're doing some old stuff. We're going to be talking about how some of the songs came about, how some of the songs were written, some of the ideas, things like that. Some of the inspiration behind the music. That's always the big thing. It's like you see a song, you hear a song, but then you find out what inspired it. And sometimes it just tends to make it so much more special, or just to understand where that
So
I
have to ask you this, right? I first met Tony. We didn't even really know each other, but when I first saw him play was about 15 years ago, right when Custard Pie was beginning. And I saw you play down in Bonsall.
At Ringers.
At Ringers. Yeah, I know. Okay. The infamous Ringers that at the time was known for some really good bands playing there. And so I walked in and I heard this band. I looked up and there was Tony, and you had like a scarf on, and you were doing your cool Jagger moves. I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? But that said, I had no idea who you were for a long time as far as your background. But how did you get into all this? Like, have you always?
I kind of really always have been a singer, kind of a closeted thing. I was singing ever since I was like 5. The way I sang, it was where I came from. Boys didn't really sing. So I didn't really admit it to anybody. I kind of kept it hidden for a bit. But, in my teenage years, I just finally decided I'm going to sing.
Well, being a singer is pretty cool, though, right?
I just decided I'm going to sing. I had seen some other friends sing, and I thought, I can do that.
So when you were growing up, like, give us like maybe who were 2 of your 3 favorite bands? Like, say when you were like 13 or 14 or 15
Oh
years
my gosh.
old.
You know, the Beatles were just the biggest thing in my life. Right. Just like so many people were just influenced by the Beatles. And so, you know, the Beatles, Rolling Stones definitely came next. Led Zeppelin. For me personally, I mean, I have a lot of women influenced singers in my life.
Well, so I'm not surprised about that.
Joni Mitchell. I love Joni Mitchell's voice, and Grace Slick, Carly Simon. I really look up to a lot of the women singers. They give me my inspiration.
Do you remember the first time you saw the Rolling Stones in concert?
Oh, it was really late in my life, actually, to see the Stones. But yeah, I did see them. It was at, it was then Jack Murphy Stadium, and it was raining, and we had ponchos, and it was great.
And it was perfect.
And what year was that?
Oh my gosh, this was late. I can't even remember.
Was that like Tattoo You or no?
No, it was a bit later than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
it was.
I think I was at Tattoo You. That.
So,
but when you saw Mick for the first time, like live, I mean, I don't know if you were close or far away, but obviously left an impression, right?
Oh, yeah. It was a big thing, you know, just to watch him dance on stage or do what he's calling dancing. It's the energy.
Right.
The energy just kind of grabs you and it just inspires you. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun watching Mick.
And the other thing with Tony, they cover the Rolling Stones, right? And some people love you doing Robert Plant, singing Robert Plant's and playing his part as much as Mick. I love both, you know. Tony's a fantastic performer in his band.
Oh, thank you.
Mark Wood, or Woody, as guitarist, is just incredible. And then who else is going to be in your band in this one then?
Mark Wood is the guitar player in the band, and Mark is just a great guitar player. Martin Schwartz is our bass player, and Marty is just a monster on the bass as well. And Jim Kersey is our drummer. You know, a little side note, Jim was the original drummer for Led Zeppelin. He's got a pedigree, a bit of himself, and he's toured the world and, met Jimmy Page and met Robert Plant.
Right.
So, that's going to be our band.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. And then, like you were mentioning earlier, at the end of Like a Rolling Stone, so there's talk about, you know, you're going to come together with the Brian Jones Rock and Roll Revival. And that's kind of a 6-string thing. How do we come together at the end? Can you share, like, is there one song you could let us know that you guys are going to do together that people could look forward to?
Yeah, we're going to do an encore set, both bands together.
Oh, gosh.
And I think that's going to be just a lot of fun. One of the big ones is you can't always get what you want. So it's just a real iconic song. And
but we will on August 31st.
We will be able to get that.
As opposed to.
Yeah. And so, we're just going to have a big sing-along at the end. And it's just going to be a lot of fun.
I know. And I think the last time we checked, Robert, how many tickets are left for this show?
You know,
there's not many.
No, there are very few. I would suggest anybody listening to this, get on the site and grab them.
Yeah.
Because it's so much fun.
I think,
and this is going to be so fun.
Yeah, because the thing about the Brooks Theater, you know, it's a seated show. Not saying that people can't stand up and move around in the aisles and in front during the show, but the Brooks Theater only holds 195 people. So I think when I last checked, I think we only had like 35 tickets left.
Yeah, I think 30 or 35.
So those could be gone really in a couple of days, honestly.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
So we would love to have you, you know, at the show to check this out. And by the way, again, this is the first time we've ever done Like a Rolling Stone. And like I always say at the shows, like what you see tonight is what you get, and what you're going to get, we may never see again. And certainly the entire audience, that always changes, but even the band members do too. So I'm looking forward to rolling out and seeing what actually is going to happen, because even I don't always know what's going to happen, and that's a good thing, to be a little bit surprised.
The magic of a live moment is you just never know what's going to happen.
Seriously, that's the whole allure of live music. I mean, we don't exactly know what's going to happen. You know that.
Yeah.
Many times on stage. So
and that's what makes it so much fun. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, there's a lot of pleasant surprises that happen with that. So
we're overwhelmed with just the support of everyone on the show, because when again, this is the first time we've done the show, so you wouldn't necessarily expect it to sell out like 2 weeks before the show. So we just want to thank all of our Six String fans. Thank you very much.
Definitely, thank
and
you.
all the fans of Custard Pie and the Brian Jones Rock and Roll Revival. And again, this has been a partnership with the Oceanside Theater Company, our music series. So it's really nice when
it's a nice intimate venue.
People come together and make things happen. So hopefully you will come together with us on August 31st and share a great night down at Like a Rolling Stone.
Like a Rolling Stone, yeah. And, we're just so honored to be part of the Six String Society and to be part of a bigger movement than just us of music in San Diego. So it's just it's an honor. It's an honor and privilege.
And we'll see what happens. I
you.
mean, this is a production, I think, that we could maybe take on the road. That's the goal, is to share a lot of these, productions, with the world. We've done really well in San Diego, but now, like, we have our 27 Club show, we have Celestial Sirens, Piano-tastic, but I really think that Tony's Like a Rolling Stone is something that the whole world would be interested in. So we'll see, right?
Oh, I love it.
We're going to enjoy this. I'll see you there.
All right. Take good care.
Okay. Bye-bye.